Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to my latest tech news video. Just as I said in my game news videos, if I sound a bit rough this week, that's because I've come down with something in the past day or so. I'm feeling a little rough, I have to admit. But yeah, anyway, I will be covering recent tech news in this video. These news videos will generally cover gaming related tech, but also tech and hardware in general. I'm grateful for any feedback, so if you feel the need to do so, please leave a comment below. You can also like and subscribe if you enjoy my videos. I'll now get into some tech news from the past week or so. First up in today's tech news video, I'll go over the most recent Steam hardware and software survey for September 2023. I had covered the last one, I believe, so I think the Steam server is now a reoccurring topic. I didn't get surveyed this time, but I have done in the past, although it has been a while, over a year maybe. And as I said previously when I covered the Steam survey, this isn't everyone on Steam and it's totally random who is picked, I think. Thus, it may not be totally accurate. If you think something is odd with the metrics, that may be the case, but this survey is the best we have in regard to PC hardware slash software, as far as I can tell anyway. First off, we will start with operating system breakdown. Starting with Windows 10 64-bit is still the most popular OS operating system with a 57.97 percentage share. This actually increased by around 1.99%. Windows 11 64-bit is in second place with 37.43% of the Steam user base. This is actually a decrease of 1.79%. I'm kind of surprised. Would have thought it would have went up slightly. In third place is Windows 7 64-bit, which is much less at 1.23% of Steam users, according to the survey. It's an actual increase of 0.21%. Windows 8 actually has is next, I believe, after Windows 7 in Windows operating systems, and has 0.18% of the market. Yeah, Windows makes up the vast majority of Steam users, with 96.94% of the Steam user base. Linux is in second place overall, with 1.63% of users on Steam, and finally macOS is in third place with 1.43%. And Linux and Mac usage fell slightly by 0.14% and 0.19% respectively. Now onto system memory or RAM. 16GB is in first place at 51.33%, which is an increase of plus 0.14%. 32GB of RAM is in second place at 22.68%, which is an increase of around 2.14%. In third place is 8GB of RAM at 14.39%, which is a decrease of 1.37%. Then we have 12GB and 64GB in fourth and fifth place, respectively. Now onto processor usage by manufacturers next. Intel is still in first place with 68.7% of Steam users, and you guessed it, AMD is in second place with 31.19%. Intel actually increased in share by 2.25%, while AMD decreased by 2.24%. The bit discrepancy in the metrics there was an other category, but I'm not quite sure which processors that would be. Graphics or GPU usage by manufacturer is next up. As is expected, Nvidia is in the lead at a flat 77% of Steam's user base. As expected, AMD is in second place with 14.79% of Steam's user base. Intel is in third place with a 7.89% share of Steam. For some reason, they don't show the percentage increase or decrease for this section. Maybe I just couldn't find it. Continuing with graphics, next is graphics card or individual GPU popularity. I will list off the top 20. I'm pretty sure I've got them in the right order. So first up, RTX 3060. Second, GTX 1650, then GTX 1060, RTX 2060, RTX 3060 Ti, RTX 3060 laptop, RTX 3070, GTX 1050 Ti, RTX 3050, GTX 1660 Super, RTX 3080, AMD Radeon graphics, so iGPUs, GTX 1660 Ti, RTX 4060 laptop, Intel Iris Xe graphics, iGPUs again, RTX 3070 Ti, GTX 1050, RTX 2060 Super, GTX 1660 and GTX 1070 at number 20. The closest Radeon dedicated GPU is the RX 580 in 26th place. I'm kind of surprised to see the RTX 3070 and 3080 so high up. I guess it just shows how popular these 30 series GPUs are. I also expected that AMD would have more of a showing in the top 20. I'm a bit surprised at that. I shall finish up with a quick look at VRAM and primary display resolution after. The most popular VRAM amount is 8GB. I sort of expect that with a 31.11% share of Steam's users. Next is 6GB of VRAM at 17.99%. Third is 12GB of VRAM at 14.8%. In fourth place is 4GB of VRAM with 10.53%. And in fifth place, interestingly, we have 1GB of VRAM at 6.84%. I thought it would have been 10 or 16GB, but those are at 3.11 and 1.14 percentage usage respectively. And yeah, now finally, primary display resolution. In first place is, as expected, 1920 by 1080, so 1080p with a percentage of 61.17%. Second is 2560 by 1440 at 16.61%. Third is 1366 by 768. I think that resolution is quite common in laptops, though I believe there are monitors with it as well. In fourth place is actually 4K, 3840 by 2160, with a share of 3.29%. And fifth place goes to 2560 by 1600, which is at 2.82%. So a bit of a lengthy one there, but I think it's interesting to cover as it gives an insight into the PC sort of gaming hardware landscape. But yeah, now let's get away from the sort of heavy metrics and into some tech news. Next, I will cover the new Pixel phones, the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. I do have a Pixel 7 at the moment. I got it at the beginning of this year after my Samsung S10e started having issues after I dropped it once or maybe twice. The S10e was a really great phone, I thought, but I also had it for a fair few years. But yeah, Pixel, I do really like my Pixel 7, but I have had, have to be honest, I have had a few issues with it. I won't get into them here. They weren't deal breaking or anything, just mild annoyances mostly. I don't plan on trading my Pixel 7 for an 8. I usually keep my phones for a while. I don't usually change phones yearly. I'll probably wait and see how the 9 is, I guess. But yeah, anyway, back to the Pixel 8. Google revealed the 8 and 8 Pro at its annual Made by Google event, which takes place at Pier 57 in New York City. Spec-wise, the Pixel 8 has a 6.2-inch 1080 by 2400 resolution 428 ppi, so pixels per inch OLED display. Interestingly, the 7, the one I've got, had a 6.3-inch display, so 0.1 inch larger. The Pixel 8 Pro has a 6.7-inch 1344 by 2992 resolution, 489 ppi LTO OLED, and both displays can hit, I believe, up to 120 hertz as well. Both devices also make use of Google's Tensor G3 chip and have a Titan M2 security co-processor. The regular 8 has 8GB of LPDDR5X RAM and up to 256GB of storage. The 8 Pro, on the other hand, has 12GB of LPDDR5X RAM and apparently up to 1TB of storage. But on the Google store, I could only spec a 512GB model. The 1TB model might be a US specific, maybe a carrier model with like AT&T or something like that. I'm not quite sure. Camera wise, the 8 has a 50 megapixel primary camera and 12 megapixel ultra wide, and the selfie camera is 10.5 megapixel. The 8 Pro also has a 50 megapixel main camera, has a 48 megapixel ultra wide and a 48 megapixel telephoto. The selfie camera is the same as the standard Pixel 8. Battery wise, the 8 has a 4575 milliamp hour battery, while the 8 Pro has a larger 5050 milliamp hour battery. Both models can apparently allow over 24 hours of usage, but you might want to wait for independent reviews on that metric. And both are USB-C fast charging capable. Just to add as well, both devices also have a temperature sensor, which can be used to scan things like hot water and so on. I think it's the first of the devices to have that. Yeah, that capability. Now for pricing, both models have received a bump in pricing of $100+ depending on the country and model. The 8 is now $699 in the US and is $699 in the UK. The 8 Pro is $999 in the US and $999 in the UK, which is a £150 price bump. Google also announced that the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro will receive 7 years of software updates. So the latest OS and security updates for 7 years. I've heard quite a lot of people praising this. But yeah, this is only for the 8 and 8 Pro, not older models. And they also announced a new Pixel Watch 2 with a $349 Bluetooth Wi-Fi model and a $399 4G LTE model. And yeah, I do like the look of these phones. I think color scheme for the Pro looks better with the bay color being my favorite. Though you can never go wrong with a black or white phone. My Pixel 7's white actually. I would have liked them to include more colors, but it's just 3 different ones of each phone, and with both having a black obsidian color. I suppose you can just buy a case if you want a different sort of color style or aesthetic. But yeah, I think in general it does seem like a pretty cool device. Both of them devices, and the software seems pretty impressive, especially some of the AI tools they showed off it can utilize. Yeah, we'll be taking a look at some reviews for the device. At the moment on YouTube, we just have impressions videos, and yeah, I might cover how both models are being received when they release on the 11th of October. And just to add, pre-orders are up for both phones now. Now onto the Meta Quest 3. The device was revealed a few months ago, I believe, and now we have got more details, including a release date for the company's latest VR headset. It is releasing on the 10th of October and has a price tag of $499 or £480 for the 128GB model, while the 512GB model will set you back $650, £620. Specs wise, the Quest 3 is powered by the Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 processor. This Snapdragon chip can apparently deliver twice the graphics performance as the chip in the Meta Quest 2. It also has 8GB of RAM and two 120Hz LCD displays, both having 2064 by 2208 resolution, which is, yeah, apparently going by Meta's metrics, a 30% increase. The lenses have an adjustable interpupillary distance IPD with a range of 58 to 71 millimeters. The Quest 3 also has two 18 ppd RGB color cameras on the front for mixed reality use. Meta says that the battery will last for around 1.5 to 3 hours and takes around 2.5 hours to, I guess, fully charge. The device also weighs 515 grams and comes with 2 redesigned Touch Plus controllers and a free game, Asgard's Wrath 2, which launches in December. When I first saw that, I thought it was Azura's Wrath, but the game from I think it was 360 and PS3 era. But yeah, that deal with the game ends on the 27th of January next year. So it looks like a decent upgrade over the Meta Quest 2. I've used a Quest 2. A friend of mine has one, and yeah, it's pretty fun playing the game. I can't remember its name, but you have a jetpack and you have to fly around a city. It was cool. I'm scared of heights, so it took me a little while to get used to it, especially when you go up in the elevator of one of the skyscrapers. It was freaking me out a bit. But yeah, it was a lot of fun once I get used to it. And I also played a bit of the FPS shooter Pavlov. That was pretty cool too. I don't think I'd get one myself yet, but these VR headsets are getting pretty impressive. If I did, I'd probably end up using it mostly with my PC, as I believe all Quest models are PC compatible. I did take a look actually, and there are videos of people playing Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 on the Quest 2, which yeah, definitely has me intrigued. But yeah, so another dice I may cover in the future, but yeah, so far it's looking quite cool, quite good. Next up, we have a few bits of AMD news, followed by a bit of Nvidia and Intel news, mostly CPU/GPU related. First bit of AMD news is that the most recent AMD AGESA update suggests that we might be seeing Ryzen 7000G desktop APUs, and they may have Phoenix Zen 4 and RDNA 3 silicon. This is yeah, quite interesting news, as I know a fair amount of people are probably looking forward to 7000G parts. Currently, the G designated lineup's latest APU APUs are the 5000 series desktop APUs, like the 5700G, 5600G, etc. The Ryzen 5000G products are Zen 3 based and use Vega graphics, which is a few years old at this point. The G series APUs can still game, however, and I do enjoy actually watching reviews for them, whether they're in a desktop PC or a mini PC. It's quite interesting to see how they perform when just using their integrated onboard GPUs. If the 7000G parts that have been suggested are released, I would imagine that they would allow for a decent increase in game performance when using just the APU's integrated graphics, especially if they are RDNA 3 based. Obviously, they are going to be cut down GPUs, as you can't really fit a 1700 XTX GPU silicon on such a small die, like a package along with a CPU. As it says in the video cards article, I will add an image of the AGESA chart showing Phoenix 7000 APU compatibility. But yeah, the latest AMD AGESA 1.0.8.0 firmware suggests that Ryzen 7000G APUs could be coming, and an Asus B650 motherboard also notes the following: update AGESA version to combo AM5PI 1.0.8.0 to support upcoming CPU. So yeah, this is quite exciting, especially for users who just want an APU for budget gaming, though I'd imagine that these APUs may be able to run more demanding titles better than their 5000G counterparts. They will also likely come to mini PCs like those put together by Minis Forum or B-Link. I'll definitely be interested to see how 7000G APUs perform in gaming benchmarks. I'm pretty sure I will cover these speculated APUs when they're released. Release-wise, though, I'm not sure really when we could see these releasing, but maybe towards the end of the year. The next bit of AMD news is that there are rumors circulating that a high-end RDNA 3 mobile GPU might be getting a release in under a couple weeks. As the video cards article says, this new RDNA 3 based mobile GPU will be the RX 7900M. Apparently, this new mobile graphic chip will be launching on October 17th, so very soon. Though this could just be a reveal, with actual availability coming at a later date. However, the article does actually specify a launch, so I'm not really sure. It just seems a bit soon. This new mobile GPU will at its core be based on RDNA 3, more specifically a cut down Navi 33 silicon. According to the article, the RX 700M will have 72 compute units or CUs, 4,608 cores, so stream processors, a TGP total graphics power of below 175 watts, a 256-bit memory bus, and thus likely 16GB of VRAM. I will throw up a video cards chart, and for comparison, the core count, if correct, is more than double the core count of another RDNA 3 mobile GPU, the RX 7600 MXT, which I believe is available. Another comparison to make is that the 72 CUs is 8 less than what the 79 RX 7900 GRE has at 80, while the higher end 700 XT and XTX have 84 and 96 CUs respectively. So this will be a pretty powerful mobile chip, and if you're waiting for a more powerful RDNA 3 based laptop, this might be what you're waiting for. There are also rumors that an RX 7800M could also be coming, but the information for that is lesser. Now on to some Threadripper Pro 7000 news. According to WCCF Tech, AMD's next Threadripper iteration, the AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro 7000, codenamed Stormpeak CPUs, are going to be revealed to the public on the 19th of October. I have covered leaks for Threadripper 7000 in previous tech news videos, but this is kind of surprising to me as I wasn't expecting a reveal yet so soon. Maybe I shouldn't be too surprised, I guess it's getting late in the year at this point. Anyway, the new Threadripper lineup, I will add an image in around here of the speculated lineup, will apparently feature a 17995 WX96 core and with a 96 core 192 thread CPU, and it's the flagship model. But yeah, this is it's pretty wild actually. As the previous Threadripper CPUs maxed out at 64 cores, 128 threads. And given that these will also be Zen 4 based, we will likely see a large improvement over the 5000 series Threadrippers, especially in workstation / content creation workloads, wherever you might need high core count. I will just list off the features that these new HDT high-end desktop CPUs will have. So Zen 4 architecture, as I said, up to 96 cores, 192 threads, as I said, will be based on the TRX 50 slash WRX 50 Stormpeak platform, up to a 350 watt TDP, up to 384 megabyte of L3 cache, with 480 megabyte total cache, I believe. 8 channel and 4 channel DDR5 support, up to 128 PCIe Gen 5 lanes. And this will, with all these specs, and increase to the move to the Zen 4 architecture, could see as much as a 5% increase in speed than the previous Threadripper 5000 CPUs. I guess that will depend on your workload, but that's what they're speculating. I guess I don't plan on building a Threadripper workstation, though I'm quite intrigued how they perform. I have to say I would like to try one out, but it will likely cost multiple thousands of pounds of dollars to put a Threadripper system together. So yeah, I'll just wait and look forward to watching reviews for them. Now for some Nvidia GPU news. Nvidia is apparently readying an RTX 3050 6GB model for budget stroke entry level gaming. Just to compare, the current RTX 3050 has 8GB of VRAM. So this cut down 3050 may be slower as a different memory config usually points to a different memory bus, core config, and so on. And yeah, going by the article, this does seem the case if the rumors are correct. The RTX 3056GB will have a 96-bit memory bus, boost to 1470 MHz, and have a TGP of 70 watts. Meanwhile, the current RTX 3058GB has a 128-bit bus, boost to 1777 MHz, and has a TGP of 115 watts. With a TGP that low, the 6GB 3050 may not even require an external power connector and could simply draw its power straight from the PCI X16 slot on the motherboard. I believe 75 watts is the max power that can be drawn exclusively via the PCIe slot, though that could be less or higher depending on the motherboard in question. Pricing isn't speculated on here, but if it's priced right, I guess it could be okay for a budget build, or if all you need is a discrete graphics card for media or multi-monitor display out reasons. Though if you only need a display out, I guess you could just get like a GT 710 or something along those lines. But yeah, that 6GB of VRAM is pretty low for a new card, I'd say. But if you're not playing demanding games or you're just playing older games, yeah, it might be fine. I have to say that I would just prefer Nvidia stuck with the single RTX 3058GB model. So people could maybe get confused a bit if they have too many different models, like with the DDR3 versus GDDR5 model of the GT 1030, I believe it was back in the day. Yeah, it just gets a bit odd when you add multiples of the same GPU config. But yeah, I think yeah, maybe just keep the 3050 8GB and lower pricing. But yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like this thing might be coming. I guess only time will tell if yeah, if the 6GB variant is actually a thing. Next, we have a couple bits of Intel news. First up, the most recent Intel Arc drivers look to boost DirectX 11 game performance quite significantly again. I believe another big leak happened in August, as well as earlier this year, when another Arc driver boosted DX11 game performance quite impressively. This new driver update, which was, I believe, mainly targeting Assassin's Creed Mirage and Forza Motorsport, has also greatly boosted performance for a number of DX11 games, with apparently some games having their frame rates doubled. In the TechSpot article, they list off a number of games, so I will list them off here along with the apparent improvements. Rainbow Six Siege has a 32% improvement. Deus Ex Human Revolution, somewhat old at this point, but really good game, sees a massive 119% improvement. Call of Duty Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2019 see improvements around double the FPS. Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is one of my favourite games, sees a 22% increase. And Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition sees an improvement of 42%. There are also improvements to DX12 games, with Forza Motorsport seeing a 19% improvement in 1440p. Resident Evil 4 Remake FPS improves by 27% when using ray tracing, interestingly. And The Last of Us Part 1 sees a 12% increase in FPS. If you own an Intel Arc GPU and play some of these games, and I suppose there are a bunch of others apparently, then yeah, I think this is quite good to see, and hopefully Intel continues to improve game performance on their GPUs going forward. And before we move on, I did just want to add that I'm interested in Intel will go for the higher end of the market with its next gen GPU, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that front. A bit more Intel GPU news next, this time about actual new GPUs being added to the current lineup. It looks like after a fair wait, we'll finally be seeing Arc A580 GPUs coming to market soon, including AIB add-in board partner models. It looks like Sparkle will be releasing an Arc A580 Orc. I'll put some relevant images up around here and throughout. And ASRock have looking to be releasing an Arc A580 Challenger. The Arc, just for reasons, I guess, so you know the sort of specs of the GPU. The Arc A580 looks like it will have 3072 cores and up to 2.4 gigahertz clock speed, 8GB VRAM with a 256-bit bus, and a TBP total board power of 175 watts. If leaked OpenCL benchmarks are correct, this card will be around the performance of an RX 7600 or RTX 3060, but actual game performance could differ, however, fairly by a fair bit, depending on the game. On the pricing front, as mentioned by WCCF Tech, the card will probably have an MSRP that lands around the 200 mark or a bit lower. Release-wise, nothing's confirmed, but I'd expect the A580 to release before the end of this year. In related news, another Intel Arc GPU is available, the Arc A310, specifically the Sparkle A310 ELF. This is currently available via Newegg and is $109. There's also a low profile model for sale too, I think it's about $10 more. Yeah, it's a decent amount lower in performance, however, when compared to the A580, with it having 768 cores and 4GB of VRAM with a 64-bit memory bus. One odd thing, however, is that the slightly high performing Arc A380 is priced basically the same, and yeah, it's high performing. And just to add before we move on, I do really like the design for the Sparkle A580 and A310 cards. The shape and purple sort of black color scheme, along with the Sparkle logo cut out in the IO bracket, looks really nice in my opinion. If you're interested in picking one of these GPUs up, yeah, keep checking your region-specific retailer. Now for a couple bits of, yeah, I guess in more interesting news, with the first one being a wacky sort of looking custom PC, Cooler Master is now selling a sneaker PC. I will add images throughout. But yeah, this is an actual shoe-shaped PC. It looks pretty cool and yeah, really wild. PC is called the Sneaker X and is being made by Cooler Master. The original PC was created by JMDS PC Modding Group and was awarded the Best Art Award at the Case Mod World Series of 2020. And now, after a lot of interest, when it was showcased at Computex 2023, Cooler Master has decided to market the PC for sale. At least a PC using the chassis. You can view the PC via Cooler Master's CMod X website, which I believe will redirect you to a retailer in your local region who can build the PC for you. When I checked, it was available to purchase via scan in the UK, although it is built to order with an ETA of 5 days. So yeah, I guess they don't just have sneaker PCs lying around, maybe. I'm not sure. Specs-wise, there are a number of variations that you can choose from. On the Intel side, at the mid-spec, you can get the Sneaker X with an i7-13700K, an RTX 4070 Ti, 32 gigs of DDR5, 2TB SSD, and an 850-watt power supply. It does, in fact, look like 850-watt power supplies, PSUs, are used across all models. And this mid-spec version will cost $3,800 US dollars. Weirdly, from what I could tell, you can't get an RTX 4080 spec model in the US. When I checked, it doesn't seem they're available. But you can get a 4080 equipped model in Europe. The RTX 4080 spec one can have either an i9-13900K or a Ryzen 9 7950X 3D, 64GB of DDR5 and a 2TB SSD. This model is priced at €4,700. So yeah, the Sneaker XPC is pretty pricey, but it does look really cool. I don't think I'd get one, however. I suspect they will sell quite well as they're very unique. Yeah, if you're looking for a pre-built PC that looks like like a sneaker, then you don't have much of a choice, I don't think. Finally, we come to the last bit of news for today, and it's PS5 related. EK, who make a lot of PC liquid cooling and whatnot, EK has decided to release a PS5 monoblock liquid cooler. We'll add images throughout. The PS5 liquid cooling system is called the EK-QuantumX cooling station. The monoblock covers all the PS5's components and is a combination of plexiglass cutouts and nickel-plated electrolytic copper. I'm not entirely sure how this works or goes together, but the monoblock has mini ITX standoff, so that it's compatible with a desktop PC. This this enables you to install your PS5 when using the monoblock inside of a full tower PC, with some images showing it next to PC components. So I guess you could have two systems in one, technically a PS5 and your own PC if you have one of those maybe extended or tower case ATX cases. As stated by video cards, this installation will require a quote custom water cooling loop for proper functionality, along with an ATX standard power supply to ensure adequate power delivery. Swapping the PS5 M.2 storage drive will also require disassembly so that you can access the relevant slot and install a new drive. Pricing wise, it is going to cost €449 in Europe. So I guess obviously in Europe, so similar to the price of the actual console. And along with this cost, you will need to purchase your own ATX power supply and case. But mini ATX case, I guess it will fit in, along with RGB controllers if you want that. So I guess you're basically transplanting your PS5 SoC into like a PC case with this with the EK mono PS5 mono block. EK does have a video of how to install the EK quantum cooling station on their YouTube channel. Seems like a cool idea, but I suspect it is a fairly complicated process to install the monoblock correctly. And yeah, I think if I had a PS5, I don't think I'd be willing to do this, especially at that cost. But I can see some PS5 owners doing it. It's pretty wild, but cool, like literally. But yeah, nonetheless, it's something I'd like to see, but I don't think I'd actually do it myself. That's come to the end of the regular tech news stuff. Before I sort of wrap up this video, I'll do a spotlight, and it is a YouTube video spotlight this week. Going back to the Sneaker X, it was actually reviewed by tech YouTuber Nada over at Tech Testers. And so, yeah, that is the spotlight for today, the video of that. It's a really interesting video, actually. I believe the only video that tests the PC. Definitely check the video out if you're interested in seeing how the Sneaker X performs from a thermal standpoint. I believe it was a 13700K and 4070 Ti equipped model. But yeah, interesting seeing how it performs from a thermal standpoint, among other things. Yeah, go check the video out. So yeah, that is all the tech coverage from me today. If you're interested, you can also check out my gaming news, which was published yesterday. And yeah, as always, feedback is appreciated. So go ahead and like or dislike and leave a comment. If you enjoy my videos and commentary, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back again soon. And hopefully, when I'm back, I'll won't be feeling so under the weather.